One of the messages that I know you put out there a lot and topics that you discuss a lot as well is because you also do homeschooling for your children. So for people that may be watching this episode right now that may be interested in homeschooling, may not know a lot about it, but they want to get some more information from somebody like you with your experience, how would somebody that is interested and maybe want to start homeschooling, how does someone get into homeschooling their own children?
I mean, honestly, homeschooling is a fairly easy process. You just go take your kids out of school. That's it. And then usually every state has different rules. Some states you have to file an affidavit. Some states you don't. Some states you just have to declare that you're homeschooling your kids. Some states you have to do a portfolio every year. Some states you don't. It just depends on, where you live at. So I would say there's a website called HILDSA, it's HLDSA.org. You should go on there and find out what your state's laws are, pertaining to homeschooling. But I will also say that homeschooling has to be an extension of a mindset that you have. My mindset always was, since I started Brown Mamas, because I was a stay-at-home mom when I did it, I knew that we had to go together. I was not going to be successful and leave my kids behind. But I also knew that it was up to me, not the teachers, not the administrators, not the board, to ensure that my children were properly educated. And not only that they were properly educated, but that they received the education that was going to ignite the fire inside of them, the purpose inside of them. So that was what was most important to me. And I knew that I knew that it was not fair for me to say, I'm going to live in my life's purpose and not give my kid the same opportunity. So I knew I wanted freedom for them. I knew I wanted freedom for myself. So I said to myself, how dare I not give them that same opportunity? And so for me, it's always been a mindset of we go together. So once I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom since I married my husband, and I had prayed for years. I want my husband to come home. I want him to figure out what he loves about his life. I want him to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and I want him to come home and do that. And now we are 100% entrepreneurial family. I do what I do. My husband has an education technology business. My son has a landscaping business, and we're working with the other two because they're just babies to figure out what they want. But we also make it free for them to change. My son may want to do landscaping today, and tomorrow he may want to do something completely different. He's actually helping my husband with his business these days. So I think homeschooling has to come out of a mindset, whatever that mindset is for you, but it can't just be, I want to do this because I don't like teachers. It's not the way it works, because that's going to run out. That fuel is going to run out eventually, and you still got to figure out what to do with these children. So I would say don't rush to homeschool. If it's something that's piquing your interest, find out why. What is it inside of you that is saying this is something that needs to be done? And if you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, and it really is that you just don't like the teachers, find a different school.
Gotcha. And then, so specifically for PA, do you have to fill out any paperwork for that? And so let's talk about that. So as far as like PA goes, as far as maybe the paperwork goes, and do you have to like come up with a curriculum, or do you got to like turn anything in to create a portfolio of like what they're learning? Like, do you have to go out? Like, what's that look like whenever you're going through that year of like actually educating and homeschooling your children?
So Pennsylvania is a 3-step process. You have to file an affidavit. You pull your kids out of school. You file an affidavit that's pretty a standard legal document that you can print out on brownmamas.com. If you go on brownmamas.com and go underneath the homeschooling tab, I have all the paperwork there that you need to pull your kid out of school. So you pull them out, file the affidavit. You can file a list of objectives for each child, a list of educational objectives that just says, this year we want to learn about Native Americans. This year we're going to learn, nouns, adjectives, and this and this and that. And then at the end of the school year, you have to do what's called an examiner's review. So you have someone who is certified by the state, whether it be a teacher, administrator, somebody who has a certificate of education from the Department of Education here in Pennsylvania. And they review your portfolio. And a portfolio can be as simple as a few worksheets that just show your child's progress from year to year, to as complex as like 3 binders. It's up to you really as a parent, and it's up to the examiner's preferences. So I would say in Pennsylvania, it is a fairly easy process. Now, a lot of people from down south would disagree because their requirements are nowhere near as strenuous as that. But I would say it's a fairly simple process. I've never found it to be something that, you know, would deter me or make me put my kids back in school.